Hello and welcome to Trains with Mark. Today we're going to be doing something a little different since I'm going to be showing you my trip to Fort William. Throughout the video I will be showing you the videos and photos as I travelled across the country to the west with scenes of stunning views, mountains and of course railways. Before we go further, I'd like to take the time to ask if you enjoyed the video, please give it a like and consider subscribing. It's completely free. If you have any comments or suggestions, feel free to leave them below and I'll be sure to take them on board. Enough of the talking, let's get on with the video. Just thought I'd mention this video was made a very long time ago, so some equipment may have been updated during this time and some of the information may be outdated. So I started off my journey towards Fort William with plans to stop for break. I travelled along with my family and it eventually came to lunchtime, so we decided to stop off at Aberlour and ended up by the station. I had lunch, a walk around the park, and eventually made my way over to what's left of Aberlour Station. Aberlour opened in 1863 as a single platform station with a goods yard at the north end. This was expanded progressively, adding more and more sidings. The loop and second platform was a late addition in 1910, with a signal box also appearing at this time, located opposite the goods shed. In 1965 the line was closed to passengers, and the box shortly after in 1968. This was when the line was cut back to Aberlour from Aviemore. The station remained open till 1971 when the line to Dufton was closed. Currently, one of the station platforms are still visible and the station building is now used as a community-run tea room. The goods yard is now nowhere to be seen and instead is a public park. All information used was from railscot.co.uk. If you wish to check them out, I'll leave a link in the description below. While I was there, I found an old luggage scale on the platform and that was my lunch break. It was now time to get back on the road. By about dinner time, I was in Fort William. It was a nice journey, but the windy roads were awful. After dinner, I decided to take an exploration towards the station, and I saw one of the Jacobite services run to the sidings. Leaving Fort Williams, heading to the sidings, I believe, after doing Fort William to Mallaig. While I was at the station, I also saw a pair of 156s approach from Mallaig, a 73 depart for Edinburgh, and a shunt movement from the same 156s. Later on that night, I came back to see top and tail 37s depart Fort William for Belgrove. To finish off the night, I decided to go hunting for a sunset. The views in Fort William are absolutely amazing already, but the sunset was truly something else. Coming on to day 2, I'd planned to go see the Glenfinnan Viaduct at the viewpoint in preparation for my trip on the Jacobite the next day. My family and I decided to go by the station since I had heard there was a museum there and was interested to see if it was open. Unfortunately, it wasn't open at this time, but more on that later. We decided to go up this very hilly and rocky walk which leads towards the Viaduct viewpoint. Throughout the whole walk it had absolutely amazing views. We got to the top and back down a bit to the Glenfinnan Viaduct viewpoint to see the afternoon Jacobite service pass over. Even the views below the viaduct were amazing. You could really see the size of it too. As well as the viaduct, the scenes of mountains and rivers were stunning. The viaduct is stunning by itself, but the views around it just made it 10 times better. Once we got back to Glenfinnan station, the museum was open, so I went in to have a look. I even managed to get into the disused signal box, which we can still pull a lever to lift the home signal, situated now behind the box. And on that note, that was basically the end of the day. It's Thursday, the day I'm travelling over the viaduct on board the Jacobite service. We arrived early into the station before the train arrived, which allowed us a bit of time to make sure that we had everything, and of course for me to see it come into the platform. The platform was packed when the Black 5 numbered 44871 and a rake of coaches pulled into the platform too. After I took my photos of the locomotive, I went on board to find my seat. After about 5 minutes, the signal was cleared, the guard blew his whistle, and we were off. We travelled around many bends, through mountains and stunning countryside scenery. There was a lot of cuttings and bridges going over the roads and rivers, but of course there was one bridge that is well known. The Glenfinnan Viaduct, also known as the Harry Potter Bridge to some of those Harry Potter fans. The Glenfinnan Viaduct was built from 1897 to 1901 and is located at the top of Loch Shiel. The viaduct was meant to be built by Lucas and Aird, but there was a few issues with the West Highland Line Railway Mallaig extension bill, due to government parties fighting over the issues of subsidies for public transport. By the time the building had started, Lucas and Aird had moved south, and Robert McAlpine and Sons were taken on with Simpson and Wilson as engineers. Robert McAlpine and Sons was headed by Robert McAlpine, who was nicknamed Concrete Bob, which you may recognise from a certain Class 37 locomotive, and he was known for his innovative use of mass concrete. The viaduct was first known for being the longest mass concrete railway bridge in Scotland at the size of 416 yards, which is 241 metres. The viaduct is now known amongst most people worldwide for its common use in films and television series, including Ring of Bright Water, Charlotte Grey, Monarch of the Glen, Stone of Destiny, Crown, and is probably most popular for featuring in 4 of the Harry Potter films. After its appearance in Harry Potter, British Transport Police had to actually warn fans not to walk on the viaduct after a handful of near misses with trains had occurred. It has also been featured in the 2018 video game Forza Horizon 4, and it's also been featured on some Scottish banknotes. We are now approaching Glenfinnan station, which you might remember from earlier. We stop here for about 20 minutes or so that the locomotive can get a water refill and people can go in and have a look at the museum in the station building. After the fun of using a slam door, we were back on the Iron Road on our way to Mallaig, where we had a chance to walk around, go to the cafe, or visit the museum just beside the station, which had some really interesting stuff, including quite a few models and a model of Mallaig Station. I must admit, as the journey continued toward the coast, some of the scenery was amazing, and the tunnels were great fun too, since you could really hear the sound of the Black Five as we travelled through. At Arasag, we had a change of token and passed the morning Jacobite service, which was on its return leg back to Fort William. What? Not long after that, we were in Mallaig, where I had a walk around the harbour, heard a piper piping away, went to a cafe, and had a very quick look into the museum, all before the return service back to Fort William departed. And here we are approaching Mallaig station, where we had a very swift stop before continuing again. we go, over the Glenfinnan Viaduct for the second time. As the journey on the Jacobite starts to come to an end, I must admit it was an amazing experience, and I would recommend it to anyone who is travelling to the west coast of Scotland, and I would 100% do it again.
See ya. 44871, leaving Fort Williams to their siding. That's 44871 on Jacobite. On the Jacobite, just after finishing its round. Quite enjoyable ride. That's just leaving Fort Williams to go to the sidings, cool down.
Well, that was the end of the journey, and the next day I was off back home, although I did stop by Keith Town on the Keith and Dufftown Railway. And well, after having a chat with the crew, and I kind of signed up to volunteer, and now I've been there for about 9 months, and it's a great railway with excellent teamwork and some really nice stations along the line, as well as excellent scenery. But that's another video if you want me to do, so leave a comment down below if you wish for me to do that. Anyways, thank you for watching, hit that like button and subscribe button if you enjoyed what you saw. Also give a comment below to tell me what you thought and give me suggestions for my next video, which I promise will not take a year to upload. Anyways, thank you for watching and I hope to see you next time.